It's not all snow like we've seen in the past. There's a reason for that. Meteorologist Jordan Darensbourg is going to break that down for us. Jordan?
Yes, Zach, and I'm going to show you because the atmosphere is not completely uniform. We have phenomena called temperature inversions that usually take place, and as a result, here are your different precipitation types, and we're going to start off with what we saw a lot of yesterday, and that is rain. That's because we had that warm air in the cloud layer all the way down to the ground because that snowflake melted and it did not refreeze before it reached the ground at any point. Now, this is what's going to be causing a lot of the trouble for today is the freezing rain, and that is where you are going to be seeing some of those some of that freezing precipitation right there at that surface. That's going to freeze on contact, okay? And the reason it freezes on contact is because that thin layer of cold air right at the surface, and that's what's going to cause the issues for those trees, as well as those power lines, as well as those branches that can land on those power lines, bring those power lines down, and cause those scattered power outages. Now we move on to sleet, and that's because we have a thicker layer of cold air, and when you have that thicker layer of cold air, that melted raindrop could refreeze before it hits the ground, and when that happens, that is when we are going to be able to see that sleet pellet just bounce off and only cause issues for the roads and not necessarily trees or power lines like what we would see on freezing rain. And then obviously we end with snow, which is where we have a layer of cold air from the cloud all the way down to the ground. So long story short, it depends on what type of thick layer that we see in that atmosphere. Zach?
All right, thanks, Jordan.